So Bo Nickal's next fight in the UFC. We all just saw him get absolutely folded against Reinier De Ridder this weekend in Iowa, which makes me think about his next fight and who it's going to be. He could fight somebody like Marc-Andre Barriault, whether he wins or loses this weekend against Bruno Silva at UFC 315. I think that'd be a winnable fight for Bo, but also it could go the wrong way for him, and Barriault would at least offer a little bit of resistance in the grappling, and he's a decent striker. He's just a bit on the slower side, and he's getting older and has taken some damage, but that could be cool with Canada versus USA. And now that we know how Bo reacts to taking damage and getting hurt and, finally meeting someone who's able to give him some resistance in a fight, the UFC has to make a decision. Do they use him to build up other prospects or, give him a couple of years to build up a win streak again, get a better record, and improve his overall MMA game? Because fighting one championship former double champion RDR was definitely a huge ask from the UFC, and De Ridder's a lot better than people thought, and he looked absolutely massive out there, way bigger than Bo, and he had like 3 times as much experience in MMA. And RDR was able to just fully let his strikes go because he had no fear of being taken down. Grappling is his game, so he didn't really care if Bo took him down because he believed in his ability to win the grappling exchanges, which he did. You could also tell Bo that he should go down to welterweight because of how small he looked compared to RDR, but there were some really hard fights and some really strong wrestlers at 170, so I don't know if that's really the path that Bo should take if he wants to win. I know everybody wants to see him get instantly fed to the wolves, though. The hate train for Bo is really strong right now, so everyone is going to suggest killers. The UFC could do someone like Cedriquez Dumas. I think that's a very winnable fight for Bo, but as you guys might know, he might be in jail right now facing some charges again, as you can see. But I do think Bo Nickal could win that one for sure. But this poses the question, is the UFC looking to throw Bo Nickal back in there in a very winnable fight with like Dumas or Zach Reese or Ryan Loder? Or do they essentially give up on their product and prospect and feed him to another up-and-comer on the rise like Azamat Bikoyev or Marco Tulio, Ikram Aliskerov, and really challenge him and use his big name in wrestling to promote another fighter? Or do you throw him in there with like Shara Bullet and have 2 middleweight prospects go at it to see who's actually going to get ranked? How would Bo do against like an unorthodox striker like Shara Bullet? I think maybe he could get him down, but I'm not really sure what he'd do after that. If I was the UFC, with how many people are hating on Bo Nickal right now, and that gives so much attention to him, and lots of people are going to want to see Bo's next fight, and as we know, the UFC doesn't care if you're getting attention from something bad or good, as we saw with Bryce Mitchell. They just care if you have eyes on you, and Bo does. I'd probably give him another year or 2 years to build himself up and develop. He's only 29. Give him a fairly easy or challenging fight to have him bounce back and get a win. See how he looks, and then start to throw some more challenging fights at him. I'd probably do 2 more fights that he has to win before he gets a ranked fight again, but if he loses either of those, then I wouldn't blame the UFC for just tossing him in with some other people they want to build up like Ikram Aliskerov and Azamat Bikoyev. Comment down below, though. Let me know who you think Bo should fight next and what the UFC should do with him. I'll be replying to all comments. And I'm trying to hit 10 subscribers, so if you want to, subscribe. That'd be awesome. See you guys later.